Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished Athletic Club nil, Real Madrid 2. And as far as La Liga campaign openers go, or season openers go, I think this was as relatively benign as it could have been for Real Madrid. I mean, it was very, very comfortable at times. There may be a few moments, nervy moments. That always happens in a game, but nothing too extravagant, nothing. And at no point did it feel like Athletic Club were taking control of the game and that Real Madrid were hanging on. I think that is, as good as it can get for Real Madrid. I've got to talk about the team selections because I was very, very happy with the team selections. Aside from the fact that he started Alaba and Militao, but I think the midfield selection was really good because you played Valverde, Tchouameni, Camavinga, and Bellingham all together. I thought maybe one of them would have been replaced by Modric or Cruz, maybe even both of them. But Ancelotti did the right thing here. This was going to be a physical game. It's away from home. It's against a team that is very high energy, high press. You don't play Modric and you don't play Cruz. And, the fact that he didn't play either was a bit brave and a bit risky, but I commend that because at some point the transition has to happen. So why not start now? But otherwise, it was a good selection and the four of them combined well. The issue, though, is that when you play 4-1-2-1-2 with Vinicius and Rodrygo, Vinicius was struggling today because he had to keep going wide and then cutting inside, wide and cutting inside. And that is a lot. I still feel that probably a 4-2-3-1 works better, where Valverde plays as the right wing as an auxiliary right as a right midfielder. I think that might work better. I still feel that. Maybe I'll be proved wrong across the season, but I just feel that would give more balance rather than playing Vinicius and Rodrygo as two sort of wide strikers. But that being said, I mean, they got the job done, and that's the most important thing. Rodrygo's goal was very well taken. Maybe the goalkeeper could have done better and saved it, but it was still a very, very good goal. And once Real got that first goal, you always knew they would be in control because then Athletic had to come out a bit. They had to start playing a bit more. Maybe and then there would be more gaps open up. The second goal though from Jude Bellingham. And it's a very it's I mean it's difficult for me to say. I don't think he meant it to go the way that he did. It's a shot on goal, obviously, but he kind of scuffs it and it actually gets lucky for him because it bounces and then loops into the net. And there's nothing Simon could do about that. There's nothing anybody can do about that. That's just bad luck if you're the opposing team. But it's a good goal from Bellingham. His overall performance I thought was very, very good today. I think he looked very good in different patches and he ran the show pretty much from that number 10 auxiliary false nine position. And that, and I can see why Carlo Ancelotti wants him to play as a number 10. I think I agree with him. He needs to play as a number 10. I don't think there's any doubt in that because then he can really influence and control the game and be in those positions where his numbers will be good. But the problem is you can't play him. You can't have those Vinicius and Rodrygo as your two strikers because that just makes it very one-dimensional in how Real Madrid approach the game. And that's why I feel Rodrygo, I think he's decent enough to do a job as a striker, and then you can rotate him with Hoslu when you need. But I think they need an out-and-out focal point number 9 because without that, they'll always struggle. So that's something they'll always struggle against teams with low blocks and against teams that can mark out even one of the two. Like Danny Vivian had pretty much Vinicius's number all game because he knew what Vinicius was going to do, and it's very easy to counter that. And that will be an issue. That'll be a risk every time they play that way because it works as a shock formation, as I've always said. 4-1-2-1-2 works as a shock formation, but it doesn't. If once teams adapt to it, it can become very one-dimensional and very predictable. So for me, that's the issue. The other sour note for Real Madrid is the injury to Militao, of course, which is unfortunate. It does mean more opportunities for Rudiger, but I mean, this is not the way it should have happened. I think Real Madrid will be very, very disappointed that they've got another injury to deal with, already 2 injuries and a third one now to deal with in Militao. But hopefully he'll be back soon and that it's not too serious. But Rudiger came in, did a very good job, and I think he'll be a good able deputy. And the question is, when they need to rotate, how they're going to manage that will be another point for Ancelotti to think about. But yeah, it was unfortunate and probably the only sour note of the night that he was injured. And of course, there's news that Kepa is going to join Real Madrid shortly. We got a year we go from Fabrizio Romano for that, so he's going to come into the side. And how does he fit into how they play? I mean, David De Gea for me that was always an interesting one because David De Gea would have meant a change in style for a Madrid player. I think Kepa probably doesn't need to do that, but he's not on the level. His shot stopping is not on the level of David De Gea's. His shot stopping is nowhere near the goalkeeper that Courtois is. So he's going to be an obvious stopgap. But can he adapt to the pressure of being number 1 for Real Madrid even temporarily? That's going to be a big call. And I wonder what Lunin feels because I thought he was okay today. What does he feel the fact that they're bringing in Kepa on loan when he's already there? Yes, they probably need to bring another goalkeeper, but probably a bit of lack of faith in Lunin as well. I wonder what he thinks. But nonetheless, like I said, overall good outing for Real Madrid. Got the job done. Got the win. Both goals were very well taken. Well, not very well taken. Well, second one was a bit of a scuff shot, but both goals were good. I think man of the match has to be Jude Bellingham. I think he just ran the show, and he did really well. What I will say though about that three midfield, now about the midfield at the back, what I will say is I don't think you can play those three or those four even. You can't play them every game. And I don't think they would fit together in many games as well, because you need a little bit more creativity in that midfield. If you're going to play Vinicius and Rodrygo as the strikers, you're going to need players who can cut them open. And they will need either Modric or Kroos to play certain games alongside those three. So I don't think this is the four that we'll see as a start. I don't think this four is going to be the starting midfield for big games. I think this was just a horses for courses selection. But I think it will still see Modric and Kroos starting games. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see Modric and Kroos both starting together. That shouldn't happen. It should be one or the other, and they rotate or whatever, but they shouldn't start together unless you're 3-0 up, 4-0 up, going towards the end of the game. Then you can play them together, or maybe it's like a cup game against a lower table side. You could play them together, but otherwise it's just redundant, and quite frankly, and it does have them cede midfield advantage even before a ball is kicked. It was not surprising that Bilbao came hard at them in the last 15-20 minutes, because that's when Kroos came on, and then later on Modric came on. That's when they started to have a bit more control in midfield. So if Ancelotti is smart, he would have seen that, and he would have realized that I can't keep relying on these guys to start every game or to be my chief game changers. I think they need to be they need to be phased in and phased out, and need to be used carefully and properly, and not trying to basically recreate something that no longer exists. Anyway, that being said, 2-0, they got the win. We'll see how ultimately, one thing I was going to say is that how it was not the best of Madrid games, and at the moment it looks like they've settled for winning games 1-0, 2-0 like that. You can't, and I was going to say, well, how long can you keep it up? But then Barcelona did it last season. They won the league essentially just winning games by 1-goal margins for most of the time. So it can be done, and maybe Real Madrid can do that as well. Maybe they're thinking we can do that, but it's a long season. We'll see what happens. We'll see how Barcelona do tomorrow, of course, and we'll report on that as well. Anyway, smash like on this video, smash like for Jude Bellingham if he was your man of the match too. Smash like for Real Madrid for the win. Do subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Share your comments on the game. If you agree with me, disagree with me, love to hear your thoughts. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.